Hi there, I'm Corinne, and this is Okay, But Are You Good? Where we check in on ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we doing. Are we living our best lives? Are we surviving? Are we thriving? Or just trying to get through the day? I will say this week, it's been tough. I have not been living my best life, but that's okay. We're going to have those days, those weeks, and as long as you keep doing what you can to take care of yourself, you're doing just fine. This week's topic is being in your selfish era. I love this topic. I really think it coincides with just having love for yourself, self-care. It can be a little frowned upon, but I think as you get older, you have to be selfish. You have to put yourself first. And when I was growing up, it was all about putting others before yourself. I still do that now, and I probably still will continue to do that. But I'm prioritizing setting boundaries, focusing on things that make me happy. And that is how if I'm helping myself, then I can help other people. I really got this topic from one of my best friends. He is definitely in a selfish era. He's definitely setting those boundaries, making sure he's taking care of his mental and physical health. And hopefully he'll be able to come back and be his best self. And with that, it's simply just being okay if people are upset if you can't show up for them. Like letting people be mad because you're setting a boundary of, I can't have this person in my life anymore, or I just can't do it today. I need to stay home and take care of my mental health, and being okay with that. I feel like it's so hard to have people upset with you. So you are always going to just give in and do what other people want. But when you're in your selfish era, you have to prioritize yourself. You have to put yourself first and be okay that other people are going to be upset with that. If they're your real friends, if they really love you, they're not going to be mad at you. I feel like one thing I have really done in my selfish era is fall back in love with doing things I did as a child and just finding new hobbies. I love reading. I gave it up for a couple years. I mean, college, I'm not going to read for fun. Like I have to read all these books. And there was like no time to do that. So I have been reading way more and I love it. It's like an out for me of like just doing something that I love after I've just spent hours doing stuff that I have to do to be able to pay my bills. It's, every week on my habit tracker, I set a goal to do some type of self-care. Usually it's just like a face mask, or it's getting my favorite coffee, or finding something that I really love to do that I normally don't have time to do. And I do it, at least I take an hour out of my week to do that. And that is prioritizing yourself. I swear growing up, that's not how I was raised. I was raised to always put others before myself. So I do feel some guilt when I am putting myself before other people. But in the long run, it's going to really benefit me because I'll be healthier and happier. I feel like there are certain people I just haven't hung out with as much, or I just don't talk to as much. I have to set that boundary for my own mental health because I am in my selfish era. I am prioritizing myself for the first time in a long time, because growing up, it was always about making other people happy. It still is that, especially when it comes to my family. I always want them to be happy. But it's getting to the point where I just can't do it anymore. I have to prioritize myself. And to be your best self, you really have to put your time and energy into things that you love. Because most of the week, we're doing things that we have to do. I love my job, but if I could be doing something else, I probably would. Like not working ever. Nobody wants to work anymore these days. It's crazy. So if you don't get that reference, that's okay. Google it. With that, it's really carving out time in your day of doing things that you love. I love getting a workout in, so I'll try and get at least an hour in every day of moving my body. It's watching your favorite show. It's just spending time with people that make you a better person and make you happy, and not just spending time with people because you feel obligated. And if they get upset with that, you have to let it be. Like, it's people are going to be upset with you when you're in your selfish era because you're no longer putting them first. You're putting yourself first. You're making sure you're mentally great, living your best life. And people don't fully grasp that sometimes. They just think you have to keep going through life doing what you're told and doing what you have to do versus doing what you want to do. That's the difference. In your selfish era, you're doing what you want to do for the first time. All our lives, we're being told what to do by our parents, by our teachers. We're still being told what to do by our jobs, but that's different because we chose this job and they're paying us to do what we want to do, so it's fine. But for so long, you have to keep doing what your mom tells you to do. Do your chores. Your teacher's telling you to sit down and listen and do all this stuff. But in your selfish era, you're doing what you want to do. You're doing things that you wouldn't normally make time for. And that's a beautiful thing of doing some self-care, of like loving yourself over in a different, like, you're loving yourself in a new light. You're looking at yourself differently with more positivity, rose-colored glasses. I think that's the right way to use that term, hopefully. And, so being in your selfish era, it's about setting boundaries. Maybe you can't meet the expectations of your family and friends for a short time period, or even longer. It might be a couple years. It just depends on how long it takes for you to grow into the person that you want to be, which is your best self. So setting those boundaries, it's self-care, it's self-love, making time out of your day or week to do something that makes you happy, that takes care of your physical or mental health, whether that's going to a workout class, or just going for a walk, reading a book. It's tying into that. It's doing something that you love. For me, it was reading. Fell back in love with reading. I really think it was because of COVID, because I had more time to do things that I didn't have time to do before, which probably was all of us. And it's really just putting yourself first. That's it. That's you being in your selfish era. And you being proud of that you're setting boundaries, falling in love with things that you didn't have time to do before, making time for yourself. No one ever makes time for themselves anymore. Or maybe they do. At least I haven't for a long time, and now I have. I'm prioritizing going to the gym after work at least 4 times a week. I'm making sure I'm reading one book a month or listening in my car rides to and from work or whatever appointment. It really is taking care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you only have yourself. You have no one. They always say at the end of the day, you die alone. We come into this world alone, we leave it alone. But, we're staying positive light here. So truly look into being in your selfish era. And if it's not this full thing of setting boundaries, then it's just focusing on self-growth of little by little, you're working on your physical health, you're working on your mental health, your emotional health. It really is just prioritizing yourself, because for the longest time, I think a lot of us weren't doing that. And then now we're getting to the point where you need to and you should be. I think adulthood is prioritizing yourself. Obviously, that looks different for everyone, especially if you have a family you have to take care of. But if you can, even with the family you're raising, if you can just focus on yourself, or just take 1 hour out of your week to do something that you love, then you're one step closer to living your best life. And being okay with that people aren't going to be happy with you. That's it. It really is. Set those boundaries, do some self-care, focus on self-growth, and you will succeed in life. And we'll do it together. Some days I'm not myself, Shara. I'm just doing what I got to do, and that's okay. But as long as you're still doing something that makes you happy every day or every week, every month, then you're doing great. So make sure to love yourself. Make sure you're doing something that makes yourself happy. My husband and I always try and travel at least once a year with a big trip. So that's how we do our self-care together, which is experiencing new things, going on adventures. It can look different for everyone in different ways. But it really is just finding something that makes you happy and making sure you're doing it, even if other people are upset with you. Again, as long as you're taking care of yourself and not harming yourself or other people, you're golden. Just set those boundaries and find something that you love. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening, and let's have a great week, you guys.